So it seems like belt maintenance and inspection is one of the most neglected things when it comes to off-roading. For me, I go by the motto, if it ain't broke and it ain't making noise, don't even look at it.
No, that's not what you need to do. Let me tell you the difference between Flexin and Wreckn. The first thing you need to do is open up your belt box. You want to get in there and see what's going on. I like to open my belt box every 2 to 3 rides. You want to check the belt for any glazing on the outside, and you want to see if you have any cogs missing. Blow the clutches out, spin them around, wipe the faces of the clutches, and make sure there's not any imperfections or damages to the faces of the clutches. So when you get ready to reinstall your belt, wash it with hot soapy water. Let it fully dry, install it the way it says to install it with the rotation of the clutches, button up your belt box, and that's the difference between Flexin and Wreckn.
Now that you got a new belt on your rig, the next thing that you got to consider is belt break-in. For me, everybody knows it's key on, button down, straight to rev limiter.
Whoa. That's definitely not how you break in a belt. This dude's trying to get you Wreckn, I'll get you Flexin. First thing you want to do when you get your new belt on is you want to crank the machine in neutral. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to get the belt up to operating temperature by applying different levels of throttle, not to exceed 4,000 RPMs. Do this for a few minutes. Next thing you want to do is you want to switch to low range. Make a couple hot laps around the neighborhood or up and down the trails, applying light throttle, not exceeding 4,000 RPMs. You want to do this for about 10 minutes. Now once you've done that, we'll switch over to high range. Make a couple high range passes, easy acceleration, same RPMs. You want to do the same thing for about 10 minutes. Last thing you want to do is let the belt cool, kill it, put it in park, follow these steps. Now it's time to go wide open throttle. If you do all that, you'll definitely be flexing.
All right, so now you got your belt broke in and you want to get some life out of it, but there's a few things that are really a killer that will completely take the life out of your rig. Things like loading on the trailer, hauling heavy loads, or towing your buddies out of the mud. My personal approach, hook it up to your buddy, high range, full drive, boosted launches, comes out every time.
No. Use low when you need to use low. That's what's gonna keep you on the trails, flexing and not wrecking. My personal preference is if I'm going under 15 miles per hour, I'm gonna be in low. The clutches are pinching onto the belt, you're getting good pull, that's what's gonna save your belt. Another instance when you really need to be in low is when you're pulling it on the trailer. You're going slow, you need good belt pinch so you can pull it up onto the trailer, put it in low, 4-wheel drive maybe, pull up onto the trailer, park it, you're good to go. Another good instance for when you want to be in low is when you're pulling a trailer, whenever you're pulling your buddy out of a mud hole, whenever you're clearing the trail, pulling on something, you want to be in low so that your belt is getting pinched by the clutches and you get a good pull. You don't want to be in high because you'll start slipping the belt. So whenever you're on the trail, be sure to do those things so your belt's still flexing and not wrecking.
Now there's one thing that everybody knows about me, and it doesn't matter what I've got, it's gonna be modded to the max. I'm talking the bigger is better, the flashier, the sweeter, and that's not gonna change my driving style at all. No matter how big I go, no matter how wild it is, I'm going full wood all the time.
Stop. Just stop. If you listen to DJ, you're gonna be wrecking. But if you listen to me, you'll be flexing. Since there are so many modifications available for these things today, for sure they're gonna play a big role in your belt life and your belt performance. So probably the biggest things that we see are big, huge, heavy tires like this. Bigger tires like this may mean that you need to use low range more often than high range. But knowing the difference between the two is what will increase that belt life for you. Another big thing that'll decrease belt performance is payload. A lot of times people are stacking tons of weight on these machines, tons of accessories. For sure that extra weight is gonna be taxing on the belt. Another big one is high horsepower. High horsepower can definitely affect your belt life. So whether you're blasting the dunes, hauling it down the trails, those long high-speed runs can definitely be taxing on the belt. So you want to adjust your driving style accordingly and definitely use throttle control. And these are some easy things to keep you flexing and not wrecking.
So in all of my years of semi-professional racing, I've kind of lived by the motto of win or wad. And that's ended up with me a whole lot of trophies, but also a whole lot of broken parts. So I'm probably not the person to listen to when it comes to good driving style and belt life.
Hold up, man. Now he's right. He's definitely not the guy you want to listen to. I'm gonna give you some tips on how to keep you flexing and not wrecking on the trail. First thing you want to do is make sure you have an extra belt with you, just in case you run into problems. Now your unit should come with the tools, but you want to make sure that they're in there, like the infamous clutch tool. And you're gonna have a hard, long day if you don't have it with you. You're also gonna want to pack a tool bag, put a few things in there, like maybe some cutters to get broken belt out of your way, maybe some gloves to deal with the heat, and maybe some kind of knife if you want. One thing we like to do is to keep a ratchet with a 13mm socket. It's gonna make your job easier and get you on the trail faster. So making sure you have all them things, that's gonna keep you on the trail flexing and not wrecking.
Maybe that's the way you like to ride if you like wearing a purse in your side-by-side. Not my style, but for sure that's some good advice. because at the end of the day, what you want to do is be flexing, not wrecking.